Hey everyone, welcome to our first live show of 2025. And in that intro, when I put Vinegar Syndrome Presents, that's not a lie because Oscar from Vinegar Syndrome, we teamed up last year, and periodically he sends me some stuff, and he sent me this box. I honestly don't know what's in it. He just sent it to me from Vinegar Syndrome. So yeah, this is going to be this video's presented by Vinegar Syndrome. Um, yeah. So before we dive into the video, I just wanted to give a shout out to Simon, my twin brother. We created a new sister channel called The Perfect Score. And what this is about is he's going to be reviewing film soundtracks, scores from different films. He also has interviews. We have 3 interviews already in the can. One is from a friend of ours, not him, a friend of ours, John Ottman. We've interviewed him before, and he came on, and this is our second interview with him. And then an interview that we have been longingly waiting for. And this guy is really hard to grab to do an interview with. I mean, you can ask anybody. He's notorious for never wanting to do any kind of interviews. And we finally got him, and that is Brad Fidel, who composed the music to Terminator, Terminator 2, True Lies. He's done numerous different films as well. So we finally grabbed him, and we got him on the show. So we did a interview with him, and then we did an interview with an icon, a legend in not just film composing, but in music in general, and that is with David Newman. The prolific David Newman came on. Simon talked to him. We did a little interview with him, so he's on the show as well. And yeah, so those interviews will be on every other Sunday, I believe, and then every Wednesday he's going to do a review, soundtrack review. Today, his first episode came up, and that is with Fear, with one of our favorite composers, Carter Burrell, and this is from Entrada. And he also partnered up with Entrada and Lakeshore, Sony, and some other places to get some soundtracks in. And so he's going to be reviewing all those. But this Sunday is our premiere episode on Sunday, and that is with our good friend Harry Marks over at Let's All Go to the Lobby. And we're going to be talking about, is Batman the perfect score? The 1989 composed, conducted Danny Elfman score to Batman. Is this a perfect score? So keep an eyeball or two out for that, and ears out for that. It was a really fun video that we did of Harry. Really insightful as well. If you guys know Harry, then you know he's a film historian. And yeah, really insightful information that he had pertaining to the score to that movie. Yeah, so go and subscribe to his channel. It's The Perfect Score. Basically, we had to start the channel from scratch. So, you know, we don't have a lot of numbers right now, but it would be helpful if everyone out there watching this can go subscribe to his channel. I will put the link down below in the description after this video is re-uploaded. I don't have the link with me, so I can't put it in the chat right now. But if you can, go subscribe to The Perfect Score. We have a lot of stuff coming up with that. All right, before we dive into Vinegar Syndrome, I just wanted to let everyone out there know, thanks for joining me tonight on this live show, first live show of 2025. Leave your comments and questions in the chat, and let's just hang out while I do some unboxings. First, before we dive into Vinegar Syndrome, I just wanted to, I picked these up yesterday, which was John Carpenter's Vampires, in a new 4K restoration from 35 millimeter negative, and also Roger Corman's classic Galaxy of Terror. This is one of the main reasons why I mean, first I like the movie, but one big reason why I picked up Galaxy of Terror is because so many people that are now A-listers worked on this movie. James Cameron worked in the special effects and production design. Bill Paxton worked on this movie. Gail Ann Hurd did as well. A lot of people got their start on the Galaxy of Terror. And when you see this movie, you'll see why they became who they are today. The special effects in this are fantastic. Yeah, it's cornball, it's cheesy, but it's also a lot of fun. And then vampires, and these are both from a new 4K restoration from the original 35 millimeter negatives. But yeah, let me know in the comment section if you guys picked any one of those up, or did you pick up Ghost of Mars? I'll tell you what, I'm a big fan of John Carpenter, but there are two movies that I will never buy from him, and that is Escape from LA and Ghosts of Mars. Those movies are not good. they're not good. And Carpenter himself has disowned Ghosts of Mars. Escape from LA, it's fun, but I would never, yeah, I'm not going to watch it again. I think I watched it again maybe 10 to 15 years ago, and I turned it off. Not my cup of tea, I'll just say that. Let's see, hey, John Pimmel, hey, thanks for joining us tonight. He says, I think I paid for a new wing at Vinegar Syndrome with the purchases I made over the past 2 months. 2 big boxes arrived, and I'm in Grinch, Grain, and Old Film Heaven. Wow, so many gems, right? I mean, Vinegar Syndrome just knocks it out of the park with their titles that they're releasing. Titles that you never thought would ever see the light of day on Blu-ray, much less are getting 4K restorations. Delirium, some top of my head, I can't think of all of them right now, but I mean, they put out the goods, especially when it comes to indie horror. I mean, there's no one better. Real quick here, I got this from Warner Brothers, and that is Clint Eastwood's Juror Number 2. This is a fantastic, absolutely fantastic film, and I just have to get on my soapbox here because Warner Brothers did Clint Eastwood dirty. I mean, it's shameful what Warner Brothers did to Clint Eastwood in this film. Clint Eastwood has been with Warner Brothers. Warner Brothers has been Clint Eastwood's home for over 50 years. He helped build Warner Brothers into what they are or what they were today. And this is probably his last film. He's 94, I believe. This is probably going to be his last film. And he went out on a grand slam. And it was shameful. It was dirty what Warner Brothers did to this film, where they barely advertised it. And then they pulled it after a week in theaters. And they didn't even play it widely. It was sporadically in different theaters. Fortunately, I was able to see this one in the theater and absolutely loved it. I'm telling you, this movie 10, 15 years ago would have been nominated in all the top prestigious awards. Best actor, actress, screenplay, picture, director. This would have gotten all those nominations 10, 15 years ago. So this, yeah, Warner Brothers should be ashamed of themselves. Absolutely ashamed of themselves for what they did to Clint Eastwood and this film, because this film is absolutely fantastic. And then especially when they posted, when they put it on Max and they slapped that original Max movie on there. No, this was not made for Max. This is not a Max original. This was made for the theater. And they put a Max original on it, which again, shameful. Just absolutely shameful. At least this was released though, and we got a Blu-ray release, unlike a couple other movies that they shelved to write off for tax credits, like Acme and the Batgirl. And yeah, I don't know what they're doing over there, but ever since David Zaslav got in there, he's like slashing corners, slashing movies, axing them from being released. And this is definitely one that should not have gotten the treatment it had, because it didn't deserve it. If you guys haven't seen this, definitely go check it out. It is fantastic. And then I got this from Universal, and that is House, the complete series on Blu-ray, and a new HD transfer. One of my favorite, definitely in my top 3 favorite medical drama shows. I'm a sucker for medical drama. Oh, and I got this in from not Vinegar Syndrome, from Kino Lorber, and I have to point this out. This actually didn't know who this was until Dan from Return of the Disc pointed it out to me, and it is Oscar Micheaux, I believe that's how you spell it. Oscar Micheaux, the complete collection. This is films. This is important. This is very important to film history. He was the very first African-American, very first black director, producer, and indie filmmaker. And this is back in the 1920s. And he raised over, racism and adversity, and he made his films the way he wanted them to make. And what's interesting that I thought is that his films have been saved. They've been salvaged, and has a new HD transfer with these, and they got a Blu-ray release. And I mean, when you look at the history of this director, it is crazy what he went through, insane what he went through to get his films made, and really shows the passion of what a filmmaker can do, the passion that someone has to beat adversity, to beat racism, to beat all the stumbling blocks that he had in front of him to make his films. And I haven't watched it yet because I just got them in, but I can't wait to dive into these. And it does have a couple of, okay, so it has an introduction by series curator and film historian Ray Combs, theatrical trailers, and then a 2024 theatrical re-release trailer. I mean, this is just fantastic. It warms my heart to see Kino Lorber putting out stuff like this. Yeah, do yourself a favor, check this stuff out, and look him up. Look him up on Google, because it's just fascinating what he accomplished. And Kino Lorber also released a documentary about him as well on DVD. So I'm very happy to have these in my collection. Can't wait to dive into them. Let me know, guys, what you guys picked up this week. Did you pick up Ghost of Mars? What titles you guys picked up this week? Let me know in the comments section. This is from Warner Brothers. One more package here, and then I'll get to Vinegar Syndrome. I don't know what this is, but we're going to find out together. I'm so excited. Oh, cool. All right, so we have Constantine on 4K. Came in. I believe this is out next week. Yeah, Constantine next week. Available digital 4K disc February 18th from Warner Brothers. I'm not sure if this is a new 4K restoration or if it's an upscale. Let me see if it says here. Sometimes they tell you, sometimes they don't. In the paperwork, in the press release. Yeah, it doesn't say. It doesn't tell me if it's a 4K scan or if it's just an upscale. Either way, I'm sure this looks fantastic. Warner Brothers has been really knocking it out of the park with their 4K releases lately. So yeah, I can't wait to check this one out. Constantine comes out next Tuesday. I do have the Blu-ray, so I will be doing a 4K versus Blu-ray comparison of this as well. So I can't wait for that. Let's look at the comments here. The Anxious Hobbit. Hey, how's it going? Thanks for joining us tonight. The Anxious Hobbit says, I love Kino Lorber. I was so happy they picked up some Like It Hot. Oh, yeah, absolutely. And as far as pickups, I also got the Constantine Steelbook from Groove. Oh, you got that already. Okay. Yeah, I love the Steelbook, too. Unfortunately, most of the time they don't, Warner Brothers doesn't send out Steelbooks for review. But hey, I'm happy with whatever I get from them, right? And Nosferatu, I got a Blu-ray in from Universal today, but I think I'm getting a 4K tomorrow with Nosferatu. Can't wait to check that. I missed that one in the theaters. Simon went to go see it, and he loved it. He said it's right up our alley with that gothic horror type stuff, so can't wait to check that out. Let me know, guys, if you saw Nosferatu and what your thoughts on that movie is. And are you planning on picking up Constantine? John Pimmel says, been a usual busy 6 weeks. In addition to 20 Vinegar Syndrome titles, I have the 4 Quentin Tarantino titles, The Substance, and 3 discs of Terrifier from Umbrella is on the way. Oh, nice. Yeah, those Quentin Tarantino releases, I know that Kill Bill 1 and 2 are just 4K upscales, which is fine. I mean, I think people assume that because it says upscale, it's become a bad word. It's not. I mean, you still get the 4K resolution. Is it as good as a 4K scan? No, but it still looks terrific. I mean, there are some 4K upscales that if I didn't know any better, I would have thought it was a 4K scan. So just because it's an upscale doesn't mean it's fake 4K, which is a really stupid terminology. But yeah, those are some great titles. I know that the only one that did get a 4K scan from the negative is Jackie Brown. and this is probably the best looking one out of the three. But I still really like Kill Bill 1 and 2. I think Kill Bill 2 looks better than Kill Bill 1, but it still look fantastic. And I heard some people talk about there was some motion smoothing, or not motion smoothing, maybe the motion smoothing done to it. I honestly didn't see that, so I'm not sure. But I am planning on doing 4K comparisons of those. And The Substance, man, that movie's insane. I love that movie. That movie's so good. That movie was right up my alley, and I'm so surprised that that movie got so much attention at the Oscars this year. I mean, Best Picture nomination, come on. I mean, that's just crazy. I think that is one out of five, maybe five horror films that's ever been nominated for Best Picture. And the only one that's ever won is Silence of the Lambs. That's the only horror movie, I believe, that's the only horror movie that's won for Best Picture. If you were to ask me if Substance will win for Best Picture, I'm going to say no, but I would be very happy if it did. Anxious Hobbit says, I'm definitely going to check out Nosferatu as well. Missed in theaters, but heard good things. Yeah, I have too. I'm a huge fan of Robert Eggers. I love everything he's done. He hasn't made a bad movie yet. I mean, he's only made 5, but still, 4 or 5, but he still hasn't made a bad movie yet. It's like every once in a while we get one of those directors where everything they touch turns to gold, and Eggers is definitely one of them. John Pemmel says, those DIs of Kill Bill sure are a product of their early digital DI time though. Yeah, they are. And I mean, that's one reason why they didn't get a 4K scan, because I mean, why go through all that work and expense when you don't need to, really? And they look great, I think. William Driver, hey man, thanks for joining us. What's up, Twin Flicks? Nothing much, just hanging out with you guys. And thanks for joining us tonight, William. All right, here we are. The big box here. Again, I don't know what's in it, but we're gonna find out together. Get my handy dandy knife there. So yeah, let me know in the comment section what titles did you guys pick up this week, and your thoughts on the Quentin Tarantino 4K releases. I want to know your thoughts on those releases. Let me know in the comments. Okay. Oh. Huh. Oh, okay, cool. I heard about that. Okay, I'll look at that one later. Okay, so first one out of the bag, we have Congo. This is one of their VSU series, which one is this? Number 10. Number 10 of the VSU series. Let's see. There we go. All right, so I love these because they have that magnetic close on there where it magnetically closes. So there's, let me zoom in here. So there's the artwork for the slipcover. It's kind of funny. The reverse artwork. And then we have the disc. Zoom out a little bit. So we have the 2 discs, the Blu-ray and the 4K. And then, let's see here, is it reversible? Yeah, it is reversible. So you have the the commission artwork, and then we have the original key artwork. And I always put the original, when I have slip covers or a box like this where it has new artwork, I always put the original on the case. So that's pretty cool. As far as the movie goes, it's not a good movie, guys. I'm sorry, but it's not a good movie. This movie ruined Frank Marshall's career. That's how bad this movie is. And Frank Marshall was Steven Spielberg's producer for a number of years with his wife, Kathleen Kennedy. I'm not sure if they're still married yet or not. But yeah, his first directorial debut was Alive, and then he did Arachnophobia, and then he did Congo, and That's the movie that kind of killed his career. So we have a booklet here. So that's kind of cool. Still, it was very surprising to me that this got a not just a 4K release, but a VSU release. Surprising. Let's see here. Okay. Next up is a movie that I've always wanted to see. I mean, I remember seeing this way back in the day when I was a kid, like in the early 90s, mid 90s. Let's head over to the chat real quick here. William Driver says, so many releases have been coming out. I really feel sales may be better than people think. I haven't seen Congo in years. I remember liking it some. As far as sales, yeah. I mean, for the first time last week, 4K is in a number 2 spot. DVD is still number 1. 4K for the first time was number 2, and then Blu-ray came in. So yeah, 4Ks are finally starting to gain traction and getting up there. Very exciting to see too. And as far as Congo, I guess it depends how young you were when you saw it. I mean, when it came out, I was 16, 17. But yeah, I'm sorry, it's not a good movie. Now, this is a movie that I saw when I was a kid, real young, in the early 90s. The Anxious Hobbit says, I do love, though, when companies include those booklets. I always love reading about the film and many interviews and such. I'm a huge nerd, good for bonus features, too. Yeah, in Vinegar Syndrome, they always deliver the goods with bonus features. Actually, wait a minute. Let me see if it says what it includes here. Yeah, if you guys are familiar at all with Vinegar Syndrome, they always deliver a ton of special features. So yeah, it includes a new audio commentary from film historian Jim Hemphill, which I actually became friends with on online. But as far as, so it looks like the only special feature on the 4K is the commentary, but on the Blu-ray it has like a bunch of special features: making ofs, documentary, featurette, interviews. Some of them are archival. I think majority of them are archival, because it says here an interview of Stan Winston, which is a little hard to do today. Yeah. So Vinegar Syndrome always delivers. You'll never go wrong with their 4K scans. They do their own 4K restoration in-house. And I mean, if you guys, I interviewed Oscar and Joe. Joe is co-owner of Vinegar Syndrome. I interviewed them, I think late last year, and they went into detail. I mean, if you're a nerd on film history and film restoration work, like if you really want to know how these films get restored properly, go watch that interview that I did with Oscar and Joe. They went in deep about how the film restoration is done and handled. It was a great interview, and I think I'm going to have them on again soon. We're talking back and forth about them coming on again. All right, so this next one is a movie that I saw. I remember vaguely seeing when I was a kid in the mid 80s, and I was probably way too young to see it. Maybe I blocked it out because I was too young to see it. And that is something that I've been waiting to get a Blu-ray release, and it never has until now, and it got a 4K as well. That is Looking for Mr. Goodbar, starring Diane Keaton, directed by Richard Brooks. This is based on a true story, based on a novel that was written about a school teacher who is looking for a friend at night. And when she finds someone, she finds the wrong guy. And when I mean the wrong guy, if you've seen the movie, you know what I mean. This was also Richard Gere's second movie, I believe. Here is the slipcover. Let me know in the comment section if you guys have seen Looking for Mr. Goodbar and what your thoughts are on it are. Here's my knife. See what the chat says here. William Driver says here, when I was 7 when it came out. I think I saw it around 10-13. All I remember about is a gorilla named Amy that had like a computer or something to communicate with. Yeah, it was Yeah, a gorilla named Amy, and like his caretaker invents this sign language where it translates sign language into vocal, so you can hear what she's saying when she does the sign language. Um, what I will give props though to Congo is that they did use a ton of practical effects, which was awesome to see, but their computer generated effects were really bad, much to be desired. So there's looking for Mr. Goodbar, and there's the discs here, and it does have reversible artwork, of course. So we have the original key art artwork and the newly commissioned artwork. And I've been waiting for this to get a Blu-ray release, and so I was really excited to find out that Vinegar Syndrome restored this entire film and put it out on 4K. And special features, let's see here. So on the 4K, it includes audio commentary from filmmaker, film scholar Jillian Wallace. And on the Blu-ray, it includes a handful of different interviews and visual essay, the trial of looking for Mr. Goodbar, anatomy of a scene, some good stuff on there. And then it comes with a booklet as well, which is really cool. Let's see here. John Pimmel says, check to see if you have the replacement. They sent the replacement as well. I believe, I actually just heard about the replacement, and is it just something with the Dolby Vision encoding? Is that right? But yeah, they did send the replacement disc as well, which I'm going to exchange right now. Okay, so it freezes. Vinegar Syndrome heard about it, sent me, plus others who got it, replacement disc, and it does not freeze. Okay, cool. Yeah, I heard that, like I said, I heard that it was, had to do with the encoding of the Dolby Vision. So I'm happy that they sent me the replacement disc as well. Good job. Good job on Oscar for remembering that, because that way I don't have to write him and say, hey, give me the replacement disc. All right, disc is in. All right, so very happy to get, whoops, I need the slipcover. Very happy to get Looking for Mr. Goodbar. Yeah, guys, if you haven't seen this movie, I mean, this is made in the 70s, so you get that really gritty, dark 70s vibe. And what I remember is the ending being very, very dark and brutal. And this is, like I said, this is based on true story. Can't wait to check this out again, especially with all the bonus content it has. Let's see, Anxious Hobbit says, is it worth a blind buy? I always trust your rec. That's the thing, is that, I mean, I know it's a good movie, but I would probably I would probably slap a advisory on recommendation on Looking for Mr. Goodbar. I haven't seen it in years, but I remember it being really dark and the ending being a real downer. So I don't know. I guess it depends on the person who's watching it and what type of movies you like. William Driver says, I have not, speaking of replacements, I hope Arrow fixes a cell. It's not a bad mistake, but when you pay 30, actually it is a bad mistake because it shouldn't happen. It's a bad mistake. What's funny is, as I was the first one to point this out, I think I was one of the first reviewers who got it from Arrow Video, and I pointed it out and made a video about it. If you want to go check it out, it's on the channel. But on the director's cut of the 4K, between at 15 minutes and 4 seconds to 15 minutes and 30 seconds, I believe, it's missing frames and it has a duplicate shot. That is a big deal. And the Warner Brothers, when they had their Blu-ray release, they didn't advertise the director's cut, but it is the director's cut because it has the exact same running time. And so I compared the Blu-ray, and yeah, it does not look like that. Because when I first emailed Arrow about it, whoever I talked to, they said that it looks like that maybe it's the director's vision I was like, yeah, that's a BS excuse. It's not the director's vision to missing frames, because you know it's a mistake because the audio of those missing frames are over the footage, the rest of the footage. So you get two audio tracks on the same footage, if that makes sense. So the missing frames from the audio from those missing frames is still there. So then I emailed my rep and I said, hey, look what's happening. And he said he'll tell Arrow Video about it. Last thing I heard from them is they're investigating it. Whatever that means, I don't know. But I hope that they fix it, because that shouldn't happen. That stuff should not happen. Arrow Video's quality control sucks right now. I mean, it's really bad. What just came out, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2, they have a fault, an encoding error with Adobe Vision where it keeps freezing. It's not on every player, but it's on certain players, and that's a UK release. One thing that I hate about it, though, is that if they find it's only on certain players, they're not going to do a replacement program because it's not a widespread problem. That should not happen. Arrow Video, if there's a problem with the disc, replace the damn disc. Don't just say, well, it only happens on Sony players or LG players, so we're not going to do a replacement. It's not a widespread problem. No, you fix it because it was your fault. You fixed it. You fix it. And like what William said, especially if you're paying $35 for a movie. Yeah, that crap shouldn't happen. That shouldn't fly. Sorry, I forgot to proofread. Oh, no, it's fine. No big deal. I knew what you were saying. Yeah, so that stuff shouldn't fly. There's no excuse for it. It's just bad quality control. All right, we got two more here. Oh, okay. Now, he told me he couldn't send me this, but he did. And that is The Keep. Michael Mann, The Keep. I remember seeing this on TV when I was a kid, and I loved it. I loved it mainly because of the visuals. John Pimmel says, why the hell with Texas 2 on Arrow? The Vinegar Syndrome of Texas 2, this is the way. Well, the Arrow Video, it was a UK release. So Arrow Video got the UK license, and Vinegar Syndrome got the North America license. But there was a thing too. I mean, Vinegar Syndrome had a problem with it too, with the HDR grading. And I think I brought this out in my comparison review, where on some players, there's when you activate the HDR, there's a red wash over the image in a certain part of the movie. It's not throughout, but a certain part of the movie, and then it goes away. And on other players, it's fine. And I'm not sure if they fixed it or not. I never had a problem with it, but I've heard it from other people. But yeah, if you're able to get the Vinegar Syndrome, get the Vinegar Syndrome, because their Dolby Vision and their encoding is a lot better than Arrow Video. So we have here is The Keep. There's the discs, and it's got a lot of bonus content as well. I can't wait to dive into audio commentaries, making of, interviews, an interview with the author of the book. Now, I don't know. I haven't watched this yet, so I don't know if it talks about this in one of the making ofs or the interviews. But these are one of those movies. Well, first of all, Michael Mann has disowned this movie. He's completely disowned this movie. And the reason being is because his original vision, his original cut of this movie was about 2 hours and 30 minutes. The studio took this away from Michael Mann, butchered the hell out of this movie to 90 minutes. A 2.5 hour movie to 90 minutes. And Michael Mann has disowned it. He's been publicly verbal about disowning this movie because it's not his vision. It wasn't his cut. And he's tried over and over again to try to get at one point he tried to remake this, but it fell through. And other times I believe Lionsgate, if I'm not mistaken, I believe they released a director's cut, but it was only about 2 hours. It wasn't the full cut version. But from what I've heard, the original cut has been lost. It's no longer salvageable. They can't. It's either no longer salvageable or they can't find it. Either way, it's gone. It's missing. They can't do anything about it because Oscar from Vinegar Syndrome told me that they scoured the earth looking for Michael Mann's original cut, and they couldn't find it anywhere. So they deemed it as non-salvageable and lost forever to time. Um, which is disappointing because I really wish that we would see Michael Mann's original vision of this movie. Frank's Media and Review says, "What's up, Paul? Hey, man, thanks for joining us tonight. Good to see you." I think I'm going to be coming on Frank's Media and Reviews. I think I'm going to be coming on one of his live shows soon. So I'm looking for that invite. It'd be fun to hang out with you. Thanks for joining us tonight. But yeah, I'm sure, John, I'm sure you got this. How's the transfer? What does it look like? And yeah, I can't wait to check this out. I remember the visuals were like the only good thing about this movie. It's just like really extremely visual. And then lastly, Oscar, he sent me, Virtuosity. Awesome. And this is their number 11. Yeah, 11 BSU release. There's the artwork. It's pretty cool. Now, Virtuosity, if you haven't seen it, if you don't know, it stars Denzel Washington and Russell Crowe in one of his first U.S. movies. There's the inside. And he plays like an AI that has come to life. It's like a warning for what AI might turn into. And then Denzel Washington has to go and stop it. I love the wraparound artwork. It's really cool. Let's look here. John Pimmel says, hell yes, I did. It's ridiculous. It's deliciously 80s and wonderful. It's a strange title, and my first time viewing, I got in on the limited edition. So lucky to have it. Yeah, they've sold out of that quick. I think Oscar told me that the limited edition of The Keep was the fastest selling that they've ever had. Fastest selling limited edition they've ever had. I mean, it sold out that night, I think. And they had like 3,000 copies. So a lot of people were really itching to get that one. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely fun 80s schlock. I'll definitely say that. But when you find out what Michael Mann's original vision was and what the studio did to the film, it's really, really disheartening. I mean, he was an unknown director then, and the studio just didn't believe in the movie or in him at that time. It's funny watching old Siskel and Ebert reviews. If you go, I watched their old review of The Keep the other night. It's pretty funny. Let's see here. Frank's Media and Review says, "Yeah, buddy, you said Tuesdays don't work for you, right? Well, try to find a day that works. Tuesdays are my usual." Okay. So it would be, okay. Yeah, Tuesdays just don't really work for me. But yeah, I'll let you know. I'll keep in touch with you. There's the disc artwork, which is cool. And then we have the booklet. Comes with all the usual stuff. Yeah, so this was another one. I knew the 4K was coming to Virtuosity. I heard that there was a 4K coming like last year, I heard. And I didn't know who it was from. I just assumed it was from Paramount because that's the distributor. So I was surprised when I found out that Vinegar Syndrome was actually the one who got the rights. Excuse me, the rights to this movie. So yeah, well, that's it. Let me know, guys, if you picked up any one of these, and which ones are your favorites of these pickups. Huge shout out to Oscar for sending these to me. I will be doing, actually I've got the DVD of The Keep and I've got the Blu-ray of Virtuosity. So I'll definitely be doing comparisons of those. And I'm trying to find Congo, the Blu-ray to Congo, for cheap because I've been looking online for a couple weeks now because I've been planning on getting the 4K to Congo. And everyone's selling it. I mean, the prices of the Blu-rays gone through the roof. It's like 40, 50. I saw someone selling for $120. It's beyond me. I'm not going to spend $30 on a movie just to do a comparison of it. So yeah, if anybody out there has Congo Blu-ray and they want to donate it to the show, let me know. I'll definitely take it off your hands. Let's see here. John Pimmel says The Keep is sure a lot brighter than Heat. I'm sure it is. I'm sure it is. Um, that's funny. Uh, yeah. Um, yeah. I can't wait to get into the Keep. I haven't seen it since, man, probably, I don't know. It's been probably about 25 years since I've seen the Keep. So I am curious to check it out again. I may like it better next time. But yeah, that's all she wrote. Let me know. Let's hang out for a little bit if you guys want to, and we can chat in the live show. Panic Room. How many of you guys are getting Panic Room? I think it comes out Tuesday. Mine shows it will be here tomorrow. Cannot wait to get that. And I've already heard a couple of people saying that the 4K transfer is trash. Here's the thing: it's like when you get a 4K transfer, you have to understand why the 4K looks the way it looks. You have to understand that. Because like Panic Room, perfect example of Panic Room. It was a DI. It was not shot on 35 millimeter. It was early digital work. Early digital work. I think that came out in 2005. Was it 5? Oh, 2002. Early stuff. So it's rough. It's not going to look like a newer movie shot digitally on 4K. It can't. It's impossible. So yeah, it's not going to look 100% great on 4K. And I think when people see, people tend to expect 4Ks. The first thing people think about is they want the bright, vibrant, poppy colors. And when they don't get that, they have this knee-jerk reaction thinking, well, this is a crappy trash 4K and they effed it up, which isn't necessarily the case. You have to understand what they're sourcing the movie from, and they can only work with what they have. So if they have a really trashed 35 millimeter print or the original negative and they scan it, there's going to be imperfections there. And if it's like 7, obviously 7 is not a bright, poppy, cheerful color palette type movie. And yes, it is a little bit darker than what you saw on the DVD and the Blu-ray. But sometimes that extra HDR darkness draws out more information, more details in the image. So the 4Ks isn't just about bright, vibrant, poppy colors. It's about image quality. It's about details, the black levels, which is colors. There's a lot more to a 4K scan than just a bright image and poppy colors. Frank's Media and Review says, just watch Rumpelstiltskin 4K. Damn, that's a fun movie, and I can't wait to post my review. Simply loved it. Yeah, I've been wanting to get that. I've been wanting to pick that one up too. I've never seen it, but I heard some fun things about it. Another one I've never seen is Hundreds of Beavers. I just learned about this movie when Vinegar Syndrome announced the release. I think it's Cinemagraph that released it under Vinegar Syndrome. I have not seen that, but I looked it up, and that looks like a wild movie, man. That looks wild. Let's see here. John Pimble says, waited for this month to pop in the 4K. Ahsoka, 1 episode every day or 2, big improvement over streaming. Was about to see episode 4 till I saw you were on. When your show is over, I'm watching the episode. Well, thanks, man. Thanks for letting me ruin your evening. your evening watching Ahsoka. Yeah, the 4K. I mean, those are perfect examples. When you ever hear somebody say is physical better than 4K streaming, perfect example is those Disney titles that came out in 4K. Yeah, and I'm sure you've heard this before from me. I mean, first of all, a streaming 4K is only between 15 to 28 gigabytes. Physical media 4K is between 50 to 100 gigabytes. The bit rate on 4K streaming is only between 20 to 30 Mbps. On physical, it's between 60 up to 120 Mbps. So yeah, physical is always going to be better than streaming because it's not as compressed. William Driver says, I feel like sometimes people spend more time trashing the transfers instead of enjoying the movie. Yeah, that's true. And I think some of it is just because it's clickbait. You know, you see the headline, The Keep, total trash. What the F did Vinegar Syndrome do? And you're going to click on that. So I think a lot of it is just clickbait, because I've also come to know, I've talked to some of these people that immediately have this knee-jerk reaction and trash the transfer, and then I come to find out they don't even have the movie, or they didn't even watch it. And so I call them out and I said, okay, so you're just trashing on a transfer because you want clicks, you want views, that's it. Isn't physical media hurting enough already that you don't need some bozo in his mom's basement jerking off to a bad 4K transfer and saying this is crap? It just hurts physical media even more. Why do that? Why not talk good about the physical media and help get the sales up? It doesn't make sense to me why trash something that doesn't need to be trashed. Frank's Media Review says, just the title sounds fun. Yeah. Yeah, hundreds of beavers. I mean, I guess it's puppet work. They're puppet animals, and they invade a small town, and mayhem or chaos ensues. Yeah, I want to see that. I don't know how good it is, so I don't know if I'm going to spend 30 or 40 bucks to actually buy it, but I would love to do that. Return the Disc says, I've jerked to bad transfers before. Sounds like a personal problem to me. Yeah, I mean, people need to take a step back and stop having a knee-jerk reaction. I mean, you know, I got a lot of hate, ton of hate for the Inglourious Basterds review, which I don't understand. I mean, it's obviously a different transfer because the bit rate alone. I mean, I took a picture off the TV that I played it on, and I compared it to the Universal 4K. The bit rate is completely different. The HDR metadata is completely different. That alone shows it's a different transfer than the Universal. That alone shows it's a different transfer than the Universal 4K. And I got so much hate on that video. People were telling me to go kill myself. People were telling me to F off. People were telling me I'm full of SH. Whatever, man. I mean, believe whatever you want. I don't care. Just stupid. Just stupid. Yeah, that's really all I've got right now. I got Life Force from Arrow Videos coming in soon. Can't wait for that, because I was really disappointed with Shout Factory with their Life Force release, because they only did a 4K transfer on the theatrical cut and not the director's cut. And the director's cut is where it's at. That's the movie you want to see. You screw the theatrical cut. Theatrical cut is garbage compared to the director's cut. Arrow Video has restored the director's cut in 4K. Cannot wait to see the director's cut on 4K. And I will be doing a comparison of that as well. John Pimble says, I think transfer is a catch-all term. With IG, the scan has a different grade from Arrow. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, Inglourious Basterds, it has a... I guess when people hear the word, it's a different transfer, and then they look on their TV and they even compare. Here's the thing too, is like I talked to a couple people, and I said, well, they said, well, it doesn't look any different to me. Well, okay, but did you actually put it side by side, or are you just going off of memory? Are you just putting in the Universal disc, seeing your TV, taking out the disc, putting in the Arrow video disc, and then watching on TV? Because that doesn't work that way, because you're going off of memory, and memory is not always accurate from what you just saw. You really have to put them side by side. There are times where I thought that the Blu-ray looked great, and then when I put it side by side next to the 4K, that's when I started seeing, well, wait a minute, the whites on the Blu-ray, they actually look kind of creamish or yellowish. Wait a minute, there's like a red tint on the Blu-ray that I never noticed before, or a blue tint or hue on the Blu-ray that I never noticed before. So you really have to put them exactly side by side to really see the difference. You can't just switch one disc out for another on one TV and then go off of memory, because it doesn't work that way. And also, movement. Video is movement. It's not a still picture. So it's going to look different as well when you're actually playing the movie, watching people move, watching interaction. It's going to look different than a still frame of the film, because you're not going to notice the color imperfections as much because of there's movement. There's camera panning, there's editing, there's movement, and you're just not going to notice it as you are with a still frame. William Driver says, do you think it was a license issue? So Arrow Video was originally going to release Inglourious Bastards back in, what was it, 2021? I don't remember when it was. It was 2021, I believe. And they told Universal no, because they did not like their transfer, and they didn't want to release a shoddy transfer. They didn't like how low the bitrate was. They didn't like the color grading. I mean, the color grading was inaccurate, because the opening title of Inglourious Bastards, I believe it's supposed to be yellow or orange, and it was vice versa, where the Universal was orange and the original was yellow, and or vice versa. I don't remember, but they didn't like the Universal transfer, and so they said, no, we're not going to release this. So then Universal decided to release it themselves, and it got almost universal hate because it's such a bad transfer. And so I don't know how it worked out where Arrow Video was able to release it. I don't know, but they did use the exact same. They sourced their 4K from the exact same 4K upscale as Universal, but they remastered it. So they retimed it with the color grading. They redid their own encoding with the HDR and the metadata, and did their own encoding. That's what makes it different than the Universal. And people just don't realize that or see that for some reason. When I said it was a new transfer, everyone's like, you're full of shit, man, because it's not a new transfer. They didn't rescan it. It's the same scan. I know, I didn't say it was a new scan. I said it was a new transfer. Different terminology there. Google it. Anyways, let's get off the Inglourious Bastards rant. But no, it wasn't a licensing issue. Originally, the Arrow Video ditched the Inglourious Bastards. Universal released it themselves, and then Inglourious Bastards got it back. Inglourious Bastards got it back. Arrow Video got it back, and they fixed the issues that was wrong with the Universal. Let's see here. John Pimmel says, when something is done well, the good work is visible, as it should be. But do people give it credit? Often not. And you know what also bugs me about that too is when there's a professional reviewer that knows exactly, they got all the equipment, they know exactly what they're looking at. Or I know people that have actually worked on these transfers, and they explain the reasons why a certain movie looks the way it does. People won't believe them. They won't believe a professional reviewer or even someone who worked on the movie, but instead they would rather believe some 30-year-old guy in his mom's basement saying, this is crap, this is pure trash, this is unacceptable. Why are you not believing the people that actually know what they're talking about, instead of believing some Joe's blow that lives down the street that doesn't know what they're talking about? It just never made sense to me. Let's see. Return of the Disc says, you nerds. You're one of them too, man. Yeah, no, there was a comment I got from somebody that said, you guys are, you're such a nerd. I'm like, okay, so. William Driver says, also, do you think it's possible that Scream Factory couldn't do the director's cut because of licensing? Oh, that's what you mean by licensing. I don't know. It could be. Yeah, because the director's cut, it's not really director's cut. It's an international cut is what it's called. So, yeah, very well could have been the reason why they couldn't do the 4K of Life Force, because it's an international cut. So, yeah, that very well could have been. Daniel Richard, hey man, thanks for joining us tonight. Like the Monster Vision shirt. Oh, thanks, man. Yeah, I got this off of Fright Rags and the hat off of Fright Rags. Um, yeah, I used to watch Monster Vision religiously when I went back in the 90s when I was a teenager, and now with Shudder, Joe Bob is back with The Last Drive-In. I watched that religiously as well. In fact, there's times where I'll go back and rewatch old episodes. It's just fun. I just love Joe Bob and his banter and Darcy the Mill Girl, and then watching some of the. I go on YouTube and watch some of the old Monster Vision episodes. Goes back to what Return of this says, nerds. Yeah, I'm a nerd. I'm damn proud of it. What of it? Uh, yeah, is there any new releases that you guys are excited about? Trying to see here. They did a new layout with a new interface with this streaming platform. So I'm trying to see here. I'm trying to share a screen and see if I can do this here. Is that working? View tab. Let me see here if I can do a split. Can I do a split? Are you guys able to see this? Are you guys able to see the Bluray.com? Used to be, we used to do. Oh, there we go. Okay. Okay. I don't like this. It's freezing. Okay, I stopped it. It's because it kept freezing. I don't like this. Stop it. What are you doing? There we go. Return to this says Thief on 4K. Absolutely. Especially with Criterion. The Criterion Blu-ray is sourced from a 4K scan. So I don't know if it's a new 4K scan or not. But I can't wait for Thief. Cruising on 4K. Yeah, I've heard about that too. I mean, I heard that's a great 4K transfer. I believe, is it already out? Because I saw some people already have it online. But I can't wait to get Cruising as well. I love that. That movie's great. Fantastic. And Return to this says excited for Landman 2. Are you going to buy that Blu-ray? That's a great show. Actually, I haven't finished watching it. I'm on episode 5, I think. So I can't wait to finish watching it. William Driver, yes, Reanimator on 4K. Now, I know the Arrow Video Reanimator was sourced from a 4K scan. This is not from the same 4K scan that Arrow Video used for their Blu-ray. This is a whole new restoration work. I actually, hang on a second. Okay, so this is Arrow Video's 4K. I got this limited edition box set. And first, just check out that. It's pretty cool. I'm just double checking to see if this was from, 4K. So it does say here, 4K restoration of the unrated and integral versions. So I did speak to, what's his name? I can't remember his name, but the guy that oversees the restoration work over Ignite Films. I've been emailing him, and I got on the press list, and I asked him, was this a new 4K restoration, or are you sourcing it from what Arrow Video used? And he said, no, it's a whole new 4K restoration. And so that's awesome. I can't wait to check out what they did. I heard it's absolutely gorgeous. And I'm hoping to get a review copy from them. They said they're going to send it to me. I believe it comes out in April. So I can't wait to compare the 4K or the Blu-ray of Reanimator to Ignite 4K. Can't wait for that. Really anxious about that, actually. One of my favorite movies. John Pamela says, it's a new year, so let this be my 2025 debut of asking for a 4K disc of The Black Hole. Man, I don't know. I hope so. Remember last year when that big announcement came out that Disney licensed a bunch of the titles over to Sony? I haven't heard anything more of it. It's been crickets. It's been crickets. So I don't know what's going on with that. I haven't heard anything more about it. I was hoping that something like the Black Hole would get a 4K, that Sony would do a 4K of that. I think that Sony's, if this is still happening, because I haven't heard any more about it, it could have fell through. I don't know. But I'm thinking that they're going to do a lot of Fox titles as well. But yeah, I would love a 4K of the Black Hole. That would be fun. Let's see here. Return to This says it gets better. Wish Landman was 4K. Oh, Landman. Yeah. The first couple episodes, I saw the first 2 episodes of Landman. I wasn't really digging it, so I kind of stopped watching. And then I heard that it's supposed to get better. So yeah, I'm looking forward to finishing it. William Driver says, I have that same reanimator from Arrow. Oh, nice. Awesome. Yeah, this is a great set. It's such a good... When I upgrade to a 4K or something like that, I usually don't keep the original one, because what's the point? There's no reason for me to keep 2 versions of the same movie. But with this is such a nice box set, and it comes with 3 discs and a comic book. So I think I'm going to hang on to this one. These are one of the rare ones where I will hang on to, even though I got the new 4K. Let's see. John Pemmel says, I would lose my mind if the Black Hole becomes part of the Columbia Classics box set. Like, take me now, Jesus. My time on Earth is done. Yeah, I'm sorry, man. I don't see that happening. That's not going to happen in the Columbia Classics. But what I honestly think, and I predicted might happen, I predicted this last year that might happen, is that they may release a box set similar to the Columbia Classics set of like 6 or 8 movies from Disney or Fox and put them in a box set of that. That would be cool. But man, yeah, I'm with you on the Black Hole. I would also love 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea would be cool to get. Tron. Tron is coming out in 4K. They already announced that. It's coming out this year. I'm sure it's going to come out with when the new Tron movie comes out. So Tron and Tron Legacy are both coming out 4K this year. But yeah, I hope we hear some more news about the Disney Sony deal soon. I'm really interested in it. I heard Armageddon and Con Air is coming. I saw that on Search for Physical Media. James, I think his name. Yeah. It was announced. Actually, I heard about Con Air and Armageddon like almost 2 years ago. I heard about that getting to 4K. Yeah, they're both getting to 4K. It's coming this year. I know that Con Air, I'm not sure about Armageddon, but I know Con Air is already streaming in 4K. I'm not sure about Armageddon. I wish they would release the director's cut of Armageddon though. Because was it Criterion? Or maybe it was one of the Vista series. Long time ago, they released a director's cut on DVD for Armageddon, and I actually like the director's cut better than the theatrical. But I doubt that's going to happen. They're probably just going to do the theatrical for the 4K. So yeah, that's definitely coming. I heard about those coming almost 2 years ago. So yeah, they're finally hitting the shelves this summer or this year. Return to This says, unfortunately, that guy is still searching for 4K. In search of physical media, in search of physical media. Yeah. Let's see here. In fact, I've got both the Blu-rays here, so I'm ready to go. Ready to go to do a 4K versus Blu-ray comparison of those. Let me know, guys. Have you seen? This is from Vinegar Syndrome 2, The Tenant. Have you guys seen The Tenant? I haven't watched it yet, but I can't wait to. This is another one that Oscar sent me a few months ago, and I still haven't gone around to watching it yet. I can't wait to check it out, though. New 4K restoration. And, yeah, let me know, guys, if you saw it and if you recommend it. Return to This says, I hope Road to Perdition gets a 4K. Oh, man, that is one of my... People ask me, what are some of my... now I lost the word. But anyways, what are some of my hopefuls for getting 4K? And that's definitely been one at the top of my list, is Road to Perdition. I know American Beauty is getting a 4K. So I hope Road to Perdition gets a 4K as well. It's from the same director. And Kino Lorber sent a bunch of stuff to me. I did an unboxing of it. They sent over Uncle Buck, 4K, and top of my head, I can't think of the others. But Graveyard Shift is coming out in 4K, and I'm really excited to check out Graveyard Shift. I've only seen it once, again, when I was a kid, so I can't wait to check out that 4K, do a comparison of it. I, I, yeah, I hope they send it to me soon because it comes out the 28th, and they usually send it to me. I usually get them a week before the release date. See, John Pimmel says, you have a 4K from Vinegar Syndrome for a couple months, and I've not seen it. Are you well? Hey, man, things come up. Things come up. Yeah, just haven't gone around to watch it. I actually watched about 30 minutes of it, and then I got interrupted, and I just haven't gone back to it. Just things come up, which is one reason why I haven't done a live show in a few months in a while. Hey, Tom's here. Hey, Tom. Thanks for joining us tonight. Road to Perdition needs a commentary from Max Allen Collins. Yeah, I mean, I wish that every release would get some kind of commentary. I love listening to audio commentaries. Yeah, audio commentary is always great to listen to. In fact, Simon and I, we never went to film school. We never went to film school. We learned how to make films based off of when we were in our teen years, 14, 15, 16 years old. We learned how to make films from listening to the audio commentaries. We used to have Laserdisc, and they had commentaries on the Laserdisc, and that's how we learned how to make film. That's how we learned how to make movies, and then of course all the behind the scenes stuff. So, yeah, I mean, commentaries are great. It's great. I wish that Spielberg liked commentaries. Spielberg does not like doing commentaries on his films because he doesn't want to lose that magic of the film. He doesn't, he doesn't want to spoil the magic of the movie with the commentary. But I wish that he would put a commentary tracks on his movies. Let's see here. Return to this says, add Tom. Love that Rob had him on. Robert Meyer Burnett, he had Max on? Oh, I didn't know that. That's cool. I'll have to check that one out. Brent Madison says, hey, Brent, thanks for joining us. Watch Dinner with Leatherface. I thought you said you watched Diner the other night, which is a good movie too. Watch Dinner with Leatherface documentary. Bluray today from Anchor Bay was a good watch. I recommend. Yeah, I've been wanting to check that one out. I've been really wanting to check that one out too. I may have to pick that one up. Episodic Joshua, hey man, thanks for joining us. Good to see you here. And I still need to have you on, man. I know we did it like a year or two ago. It's been a couple of years since you came on, and I remember the live stream was all flubby then, and I haven't I need to get you back on the show, man. So stay tuned for my DM to you, because I do want to tune back on. Let's see here. Tommy says Max Allen Collins was on Let's Get Physical Media this past weekend. Oh, okay. Yeah, I missed that show, that episode. Yeah, guys, Robert Meyer Burnett, he does a weekly physical media show on his channel. Pretty cool. Sometimes he has guests on there. Which reminds me, Bill Hunt from the Digital Bits. He's coming on my channel soon. We've been talking back and forth, and I'm aiming for next week, next Wednesday. Just depends on his schedule. He's really busy, so it's either next Wednesday or the Wednesday after I'm going to have him. But I am definitely going to have him on. We've been talking back and forth a lot about it, and yeah, so that'll be a fun show to have Bill on. Episodic Joshua says, good to be here. We can definitely join on your channel again. Absolutely. Eli comes in. Hey, Eli, thanks for joining us. What's up? Paula and chat. Do I look like a Paula? I know what you meant, though. Episodic Joshua. I know what you meant. What's up, Paul and chat? Yeah. Eli, what's up, Paul and chat? Yeah, I knew what you meant. Yeah, guys. I think that's about it. I'm gonna get going in a few minutes here. three new Kino Lorber titles are coming out. One that I've heard about that they were doing it's okay, Eli, no problem. One I heard they're doing a 4K of. I heard this like 3 years ago. They're doing a 4K of it, and I wasn't sure if it was Universal that was doing it or, well, Universal did do it, but I wasn't sure who was going to release it. And out of Sneakers, that's been a favorite of mine. I saw it in the theater. I was 14 when I saw it in the theater, and I'm excited that Kino Lorber's releasing Sneakers on 4K. That comes out in April, and then Dante's Peak is getting a 4K, and Daylight are getting 4Ks. I believe those are all coming out in April, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I can't wait for those ones to come out. Those are really fun movies if you guys haven't seen them. Really fun 90s movies. Return of This says, excellent, can't wait for you and Bill to chat. Yeah, that's definitely gonna be a fun show. Yeah, we've been talking back and forth for a while now, so hopefully it all pans out for next week. He's a really busy guy, so we'll see. John says, shut up so I can watch Ahsoka. All right. John Pemmel says, but clearly, thanks for being here. Nice to see you tonight. Yeah, I know I haven't done a live show in a few months. I had surgery, and then just some family stuff came up, so haven't been on until now. But I'm trying to get back on to a weekly show every Wednesday, and have some guests on. And so yeah, I'm back. Tom says Sneakers is a great movie. Yeah, it is. It's a lot of fun. All right, guys, thanks for joining me tonight on the live show. And hopefully Bill will be here next week with me. If not, I will be here by my lonesome, or maybe I'll invite someone else on the show. As always, guys, thanks for tuning in. Keep physical media alive. Huge shout out to Vinegar Syndrome, Oscar at Vinegar Syndrome, for sending these to us. I can't wait to dive into them and doing comparisons for them. And yeah, guys, we'll see you next time. Have a good night. And John, you may proceed with Ahsoka. All right, guys, take care.